All right, so we're back. And so I'm just gonna give you itemized what you need to have. You need to have a harder flat block. Now you can either make that out of solid wood, just so long that this edge, whatever, is flat and straight. And I usually have it a little bit on the curvature so that the edge of it won't jab into the veneer or slash wood, and it won't harm it and mark it up. And then of course just a regular cotton rag, and these are called Gunzy rags, and these are just regular t-shirts, cotton shirts, but they have no color, they have no buttons, and you can get them at your paint store, hardware store. They sell rags and such. Just make sure they're white, not colored. And then of course a handy dandy iron. I usually have the setting right on high. The intervals that we're going to be working in is going to be hot enough to melt the existing finish on here, but at the same time it's going to warm up put heat through the veneer and reactivating the adhesive that is underneath the veneer. So, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So right now you can hear there's no delamination here, and all this is all delaminated and also missing. Of course we'll get to that in a little bit, and then it ends and it goes solid again. There's another piece of missing veneer. Oh, this whole patch here, all the way down. So it does touch here, so that's going to be a solid. So now, first thing you do, you put the rag once it gets hot. Just know, okay, so it's about there to there, and so we're going to start here and start here. Just kind of know the general area, that because we're going to heat up just past that and just past that. And we're going to heat it up, and then we're going to do the entire whole thing, but we're going to do it in 2 segments. We're going to go from here to here, and then we're going to go from here to here. So just make sure there's no creases. You don't want it bunched up like that, and because that will actually your heat won't be even throughout. So we want even distribution of heat. Okay, so we're going to put that crease up there. Okay, so there's the start point, and I know I'm just going to do this area here. So you get it? Don't stay in one spot. Okay, so you're going to feel your pressure. Okay, so there's the edge. Okay, so I want it nice and flat. Okay, so we're nice and flat. Now you're just going back and forth, keep it moving, and you're going to alter the weight of it. Okay, so you're thinking you're flat, then I want you to put a little bit extra pressure on the edge, and then go back to flat. And after that, take this, push it down. You can feel the heat. And if it discolors a little bit like that, that's okay. Okay, you're just going to make sure that cools flat. Okay, and you're keeping even pressure. And you're stopping once in a while, make sure that it gets flat and hard pressure. Okay, so you feel here a little bit. So we're going to inject a little bit of glue in there, and we're going to react, and we're going to hot press that glue so that this will stay down. But it got rid of most of it, just a little bit on the edge. Okay, so we're just going to hit this one. And make sure it's single layer, don't have a double layer. Okay. So that's your main area right there. Go back and forth, just in that little area, keeping it flat, and then put a little bit of edge pressure. Okay, but go back to flat. Okay, just for a little bit. And your rag, you don't want it to stick. Okay, that's one thing you don't do, and you don't want to peel off that finish. Okay, so we got most of it. So we got it a little bit there, and then some down here. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. Alright, so we're going back, and so I usually use like Titebond 3. You can even actually use wood glue, white glue. They're all thermoplastic, which means they'll activate and cure with heat and as well as air. but in heat, you're more or less, you're speeding up the process severely, and it's actually going to be cured within minutes, not even a minute. So because of the heat of the iron, and we're going to do it in such a way that it's not going to harm the veneer. So what we're going to do, this is a palette knife, very flexible, okay, but very, very, very thin. And so we can use it. We can use it, and we can actually get underneath. You see how far it goes in. So this is what I'm going to make sure that I get. Just get a sense of how deep it goes and the extent of the loose veneer. Okay, so it actually goes back, even though it didn't tap before. This always tells the story. Okay, so we're just going to do that whole entire area here, and let's go. Interesting. All right, so we don't want to make this a big mess either. Okay, so we're going to do little sections at a time, and this is actually quite normal. If you see this has already been touched up once before. It's supposed to be a fairly light color, but this has been treated before. Someone's darkened it a little bit and did some toning or shading to it, and yeah, so we're not going to make that worse. We're just going to try to make everything look right, and so these folks won't have to worry about any more problems. So I just get some on the glue on the edge there to start with. Now I'm just going to take the tip of it, lift up, okay, and then you can put your finger there. Most of the time you can do that. Okay, so we want to get a little bit more on here. Okay, so you can just flip it up a little bit. Okay. Now you got some in there, so then I'm just going to spread it around with my spatula. Okay, just keep on going in and around. You're going up, and you're also going down for pressure. Okay, so you got to watch out for that. Notice how my spatula went into the wood. Be very careful. Okay, and so we're just spreading around. Make sure that it's good. Okay, as you saw it again. So you just don't be harsh with your pressure. You just kind of glide it in, and if you feel resistance, let it resist and just let it stop. Okay, so you just can wipe off. You can use a rag, finger, whatever. Wipe it off on the rag. Okay, now we're going to take a clean part of the rag. We know we went around this area. Okay, so we're just going to, now again, we're going to heat press it and rock the pressure. Make sure that it's nice and tight, right? Make sure it's nice and consistent and hard and flat. Okay, pull away. Okay, so it's still there. Okay. So it does take a little bit for the glue to get to a set point where it won't move. The veneers will be more or less bonded to the core. I forgot to mention that, and if you notice it dirty, you want to make sure it's clean, and you want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to be bonding onto the veneer or underneath the veneer, and there'll be a bump, and so you want to make sure that it's all free of debris and such. Okay, let's go again. It's starting to get warm, so it's almost there. It's almost there. It's going to be setting in a minute here. As I said, it takes about a minute for it to hot press down enough that it will be set. And then we can just relieve it and just let it dry. Alright. Let's get this block. Now, it did soften the finish, so you just got to be really careful. It is quite hot here too. And yeah, so you just make sure that that's still flat. Okay, it seems to be feeling quite good. There you go. You did a very good job. Okay, that's good. Now with the excess here, you just rub it with your fingers. Get your nail. Now let's kind of scrape it off. And just be careful because there's loose jags of veneer. They're like slivers, so you just take care of that. But it's easy to clean off the excess glue when it's warm like this. So you just kind of let your thumbnail or just kind of drag. You don't want to press too much pressure, but you just drag it and it kind of removes all that, because like stain doesn't take to wood glue. So you do want to try to get as much off as possible. And then we're going to just touch it up with they're really small missing pieces here. So we're just going to get some wax. We're just going to just wax that smooth. And then this here, obviously it's a bigger chunk. We'll get to that and we'll fill it all in. And we'll just do our camouflage work and it will blend right in. So stay tuned. Cheers.